Good morning. Today is Tuesday, June 15th, 2021, and this is the Arlington County, Virginia Board of Equalization hearing. There's one case on the agenda today. The RPC number is 07018-006. The property is located at 4605 20th Street North. Mr. Kevin Cullen is here, the owner, and Mr. Cullen, you can start with your 8 minutes and tell us about your property, sir. You got to turn your microphone on.
Good morning. I don't think I'll need the full 8 minutes, but appreciate the time. Only have questions for really exactly how the valuation was arrived at. The big thing I see is that the improvement valuation increasing 160K year over year, despite no structural changes to the building, just doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. It's been valued between 472 and 536 over the last 10 years, and then valuing it up this year 80K higher than anywhere it's been in the last 10 years, when it was renovated about 10 years ago. Just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I see how land is going to continually appreciate a little bit here and there, but just trying to get a better sense of how we look at things and why any year, but especially in the middle of the pandemic, we would be looking at significant increases in the building valuation. That just doesn't seem to make sense to me. I think valuing the building valuation somewhere between that 472 and 536 range that it's been the last 10 years seems to make the most sense to me, and go from there.
Okay, thank you, sir. Mr. Andrew King for the county. Mr. King?
Good morning, board. This property is a 2-story single-family home, 5 bedrooms, 3.5 baths. It was built in 1949. It has an effective age of 2009 and a quality of excellent. The property was last purchased before the appellant in 2004 and underwent a major renovation and addition work in 2009. The county can sometimes be conservative with assessments on properties that we don't have interior access to. We do our best to appraise these properties correctly, but it often can be difficult to see what's going on the inside. But upon the sale in December 2019, the county was able to see the work that was done to the property and change the quality to better equalize with other properties in the county. This changed the quality from very good minus to excellent. This is a routine inspection process that all sale properties, permit properties, et cetera, undergo throughout the year. The comparables presented by the county and the appellant's own purchase price of $1,461,000 in December of 2019 give a strong indication of the value of the property. We've also seen no slowdown in the Arlington market since the end of the analysis period. The county did make some minor changes to the property record, which brought the proposed value down. So for those reasons, the county recommends a reduction to the 2021 assessment to a proposed amount of $1,396,800. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Questions from board members? No questions? Mr. Metzgen.
Excuse me. I just wanted to check, make sure I understood what I read and what I heard. There were lots of renovations a dozen years ago, but they weren't picked up. I heard you say to 2019 upon the Cullens purchase. But those changes were not reflected until 2021. Is that right, Mr. King?
So the sale was in 2019. It was in December of 2019. So the appraiser didn't get there until the beginning of 2020. So then those changes didn't take effect until 2021.
And again, what you picked up were the very large improvements made in 2009.
I mean, it's split. It's not that we didn't pick up any of the renovations. So we got the square footage. There was a quality change back then, but seeing the property for sale and being able to get a clearer indication of the quality is what was a change in 2020.
That was the big key, the quality.
Yeah. So we already had the square footage, we already had the bedroom, bathroom count, that sort of thing. But
okay.
The market is telling us that there is a clear quality component of the sale price.
Yeah, went up a couple of notches. Thank you.
All right, and just for the county, Mr. King, if you would just take a second. I mean, obviously the appellant, is asking about, how the building can go up when there's non-improvements consistently throughout the 10 years. But can you just briefly clarify again, how as properties increase in value in neighborhoods and values go up, how it gets allocated, land versus building? I mean, because obviously the increase in value's got to go somewhere. So I think that would help the appellant understand.
Yeah, I mean, so land values, we have a strong indication from when we see houses torn down or we have vacant lots. So that'll be a strong component of seeing your land go up. The other half will be placed on the improvement. That's what's ever left over after our analysis. So we look at all the properties in your neighborhood that are selling in open market sales. We're looking at an assessment to sale ratio. So say everything comes in selling about 90% of what we have selling as assessed at 90% of what it's selling for. We might raise everything up 8% or so to get closer to that fair market value. So those values are applied to everybody in your neighborhood. You did get a larger component change based on the quality change, but there's also a sale component that is applied to everybody in the neighborhood. And you'll see that year to year. So, even next year, you haven't done anything, the county hasn't touched your record, you'll see the improvement change year to year.
While the actual cost to rebuild the entire building would be functionally the same. I mean, I suppose labor and material prices would change ever so slightly year over year, but you're changing the improvement value based off of the sales prices, not the actual cost to rebuild it, which seems to be counterintuitive when you think that the land is what actually is going up and down, and the improvement value is the construction cost of the property.
Yeah, and some of it's going to be that there's extra amount left over. So we only have so much support for the land value, and we have support for the final value. So anything left over is going to be put on the improvement value. It is built up from the cost approach, so we do have a cost value, but then we can tweak that with neighborhood factors to get that fair market value at almost 100% or so.
Okay, other questions from board members? No. Okay, Mr. King, if you take a minute to wrap up the case, please.
Sure. This property is a well-updated property with additions. It's sold in 7 days on the market for $1,461,000. The comparables are still strong in the area. So for those reasons, the county recommends a reduction to the proposed amount of $1,396,800. Thank you.
Okay, and Mr. Cullen, if you take a minute to wrap up, sir.
Yeah, I think that the prior 2019 valuation of approximately 1.2 million is more in line with the value of the property at this point. We have seen from Zillow and Redfin, I don't have the county data that you guys have. I've seen reductions in home value year over year, 7% on Redfin, 4% on Zillow in the area, and would find it hard to believe that I could get the 1.46 that I paid, much less the 1.39 that you're proposing on the property right now, as buyers are looking to leave urban areas. So I think that the previous valuation of 1.2 million or so is more in line with where we ought to be.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, it's just among the board members. What's everybody think? Mr. Matzkin.
I have two observations. One is that we have not seen one case so far this year, in contravention to Zillow and Redfin's expertise. We've not seen a case yet where the neighborhood on average has gone down. And of course, it's been brought up many times that the folks like Redfin and Zillow do a broader macro look at agglomerations of houses than does appropriately, in my view, the county. So looking at neighborhoods, and in this case, it was a modest increase, about 4%, is the way to go. And second, fortunately, the comparables are really good and testify to the value of this property. And finally, thank you for the department thank you for the chair for asking the department, and the department so well explaining where cost allocations go and how they're arrived at. It's really one piece. It's not really a building and a piece of land. So thanks for that help.
Okay, Mr. Yates.
I think 2 points I looked at when I saw this. it is the time frame that we're looking at of when the county took the snapshot of values, and the comps are there. The other I would say is more from a personal level, developing houses right now and watching what sells and what prices they're going at. Things are selling with multiple offers over asking price, and they have not gone down. Our neighbor's house just sold $300,000 more than they bought it for 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. Things are selling, and there's a shortage of housing, and prices are being obtained. So the argument, and not, and I understand the appellant's viewpoint, but it's not proving out in the market.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think the appellant's point about people leaving urban areas, I think that is true nationwide. But with Arlington, the proximity to DC and the federal job market and just the job market here in itself, we're not seeing it. I mean, I don't see it in any of the cases that we've seen, and dealing with the realtors and whatnot that I deal with from a standpoint of sales, they're just not seeing it here. So I would support the county's revised assessment. Mr. Penaranda?
I agree with you. And Mark, I think, the homes are selling and they have been selling. I'm assuming that, I'm going to guess this home sale also was a multiple offer situation, because it was listed for about close to what the assessment price is, assessment value. It was listed for 1,390,000 and it sold for 1,461,000. So I'm going to guess that there were multiple offers on this. And I think the market is still showing that it is continuing to be that way. So I don't have any problem with the assessment. I think your microphone is off, Mary.
Sorry. Any other opinions contrary to that?
No.
All right, then I will move to accept the county's 2021 revised assessment of $1,396,800.
I'll second.
Okay, a second by Ms. Hogan. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, it's unanimous, 6-0. The county's revised assessment of $1,396,800 is confirmed. Thank you, Mr. Cullen. Is there any other business from members or the county on cases? No?
Nope.
All right, then we will adjourn today's meeting now at 9:16 and stay on for the commercial update, but we will stop the recording.